Welcome back to the Guy Reviews channel. Today I wanted to jump into 5 ways to make money on the side that I think are the most profitable ones out there. Now, I got a lot of questions about this since I announced that through college, that's what I did. I worked little side jobs working for myself all through college so that I could basically pick when I wanted to work and how I wanted to work. And I could make my work around my school instead of trying to make my schooling work around my work. Now, after college, I went on and did some different side projects to earn money, and one of them eventually grew into my full-time job and was quite successful. So if you want to learn a little bit about how you can earn some money on the side and some very profitable ways from basic, hey, these are low effort, low starting cost, all the way up to a lot more complicated ones, hang in here. But first, if you're new, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, and I would really appreciate it. And hopefully we can help you, in this case, learn how to make some money on the side. Now, these are my personal opinions. I'd love to hear from you. Do you have a particular side way to make money, some side hustles, a lot of people like to call them? Leave me a comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. First though, a few cons and pros of working like this. Now, especially for college students, people just out of college looking for some extra money. The downside to a side hustle, a side job, is it's a lot more work typically than, for instance, getting a side job. When you go work at like a Burger King or McDonald's or a gas station, I did that when I first got out of high school. You come in, you punch the clock, you work, and when you punch out, you usually don't think about it. When you're done with work, you're done with work. There's very little thought. With these side jobs, these little side ways to make money, often you kind of get your brain constantly rolling around what's happening with it, how can I grow it, how can I keep it going. So there's a lot more to it. While you may be in control of the hours, overall you may find yourself actually working a little bit more. Now the benefit is you can often make more money, you can often have more control over it. And then your boss calling you say, guess what, I cut your hours next week, or guess what, I scheduled you every day next week. That's the benefit there. But it's also a little bit more intensive. Now, the pro to it is while you have more control and you have to work at it a little bit more, you can often make more money than you would working a basic, minimum wage part-time job, on top of the fact that you are in more control over what you're doing with your hours. Just remember though, it's not easy, it's not guaranteed, it's hard work. So keep that in mind. So ask yourself, am I somebody who just really wants to show up to a waitressing job, which can make some pretty good money, to be honest with you, a gas station, a fast food job, any type of part-time, minimum wage type job, versus do I want to go launch something myself? So you need to ask yourself that question first. And if you do decide, hey, I'm willing to put in the effort to run my own business so I can hopefully make some more money, have more control, here's 5 ways to do that. Number 1, working for one of the many companies that specialize in this. There's actually a lot of companies that will say, hey, we're looking for people like you who want to have a side little job that they control more. Some more popular ones are like Uber and Lyft, where you can drive your own car and pick people up and drop them off and earn money on your own schedule. Though I know a lot of people don't necessarily like that. There are other ones like grocery shoppers, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Waiter, and more, which allow you to just go and pick up food. There's even more regular jobs like pizza delivery companies out there that allow you to do it. Are you somebody who actually likes shopping? I know people who absolutely love it. You can get paid now to grocery shop for other people. And often you do it at your own schedule. Much like Grubhub or Uber Eats, you get an app, you pick up an assignment, you go do it on your own schedule. So keep that in mind. It really is entry level, kind of start your own side gig. Doesn't often pay as well as the other ones down the road, but there's very little thought to it. You don't have to build up your clientele. You don't have to do a lot of work. You download the app, pass a background check, and you're working. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for something very easy that you can pick up and do whenever you want, something like Uber, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Instacart, and more, which will allow you to do basic tasks for people, not a bad way to do it. But if you're looking for making even more money, maybe consider looking at number 2, where you look at your own skills. One of the things I think people kind of forget a lot about is you often have great skills. For example, if you know how to play an instrument, there's a lot of people looking for in-home lessons right now. So you're probably saying, well, Luke, I'd love to teach people how to play the piano, play the guitar, but I don't have a place to do that. A lot of people are willing to pay for people to come to them and do that. There's even websites out there where you can advertise your services past just things like Craigslist. So keep that in mind. For example, somebody offering beginner piano lessons in the United States earns on average $30 to $60 an hour. That's a pretty good rate. If you think about it, you pick up a few clientele once a week, you're making much more than you would at $15 an hour with that. So look around. What kind of skills do I have? Do I have a carpenter skill? Can I offer some handyman services? You just may want to consider forming a small LLC. You can often do those very cheaply out there, and that allows you to also go and have some protection for what you want to do. But I know a lot of people in college and after college and more who offered lessons in everything from guitars to music to singing and the like, and got paid really well for it. For more advanced ones, as you grow your career, you can charge a lot more money than those basic $30 to $60 ones. So keep that in mind. You do need to have a skill there. And I know some people have those, some people don't. I can't sing, I can't play musical instruments, just not a skill I ever learned. But maybe you do. So keep that in mind. So take a look at yourself and ask, what skills do I have that I can offer? Can I teach? Can I take my woodworking skills and more and go do it? Make sure you know your local laws. Don't be trying to offer electrician services and plumbing services if you're not a qualified licensed electrician, for example. But, you know, how many times have we seen somebody looking for some manual labor? Hey, I need some junk hauled out of my garage. I need some help moving some furniture. You know, you often see those kind of jobs posted on Craigslist. Just know your local and state laws before you try to jump into anything like that, and consider creating an LLC. All right, number 3, service companies are hard to find right now, and they're very profitable. Now, we talked about having skills, but there's a lot of things people want to pay you for that don't really require a lot of skills. Dog walking, for example, if you like animals, you don't need to be a great musician to go take a dog for a walk. And right now, when I did a quick search online, you can earn up to $30 for a 30-minute walk of a dog per dog. So if somebody has multiple dogs, you can do that. Pet sitting around the holidays is very profitable. And the great thing about those is, again, you got a lot of control over when you do it and when you don't do it. You can always accept clients based on your availability. But I know this when we were looking for some help for somebody to watch our cat when we traveled, it's hard to find somebody that does that. Again, know your local laws. Usually you can have a quick online search that'll answer your questions about things like that. But offering services from house cleaning to pet sitting to dog walking and more can earn you really good money at a very flexible schedule. And often, let's be honest, they're hard pushed to find people to do that kind of work nowadays. It sounds strange because they're very good paying jobs, but they're in many cities, it's difficult. Now you need to know your local market, because where I live, there could maybe be a ton of dog walkers and pet sitters, but where you live, there may not be any. So know your market, know your strategy. Often with this, you can network through family and friends if you're in an area where you know a lot of people, and start it that way using some basic, Facebook and Craigslist and other places to market your services are another great option too, to look for that. So keep that in mind. If you like pets, take that in consideration. All right, number 4, online money. Now, online is something like what I'm doing here. Creating a YouTube channel. These videos are ad revenue monetized, don't make a ton of money, but they're good options. Now, the downside with online options. Now, that can be all kinds of different things, from running a YouTube channel, a Twitch account, to trying to run an online referral business and more. They're often slow to grow. Now, you probably have heard, I launched a channel and in a few years I was massive. It doesn't always work that way. My first business, which you probably most know me from, took a long time, took a couple years before it became my full-time job. At the start of that, it was kind of a labor of love, like this is. I just kind of love doing these videos. It's kind of a labor of love. A little bit of money I make on the side is great, but I'm not supporting my family with this. Now, maybe in a few years from now, so keep that in mind. Now, that's the downside to online. Two things. A, more competition. You're competing with people all over the world. A lot of people would rather work at something like this than they would delivering pizzas or dog walking, for example. So that brings up the level of competition. When there's more competition, smaller pool to get into. So keep that all in mind. Very rarely do people overnight become huge successes online. And it's often more time consuming than you consider. But if you do it, you have a personality for YouTube, you have a personality for Twitch, you have some type of other online skills, then it can be very good if you're willing to put the work into it. It just really does become very time consuming, so keep that in mind. With that said, it can be one of the more flexible jobs out there. Make these videos when you want. Make this content when you want. So keep that in mind when you're deciding. All right, number 5, the one people don't really think a lot about is resale. Now, these ones can be a lot more difficult, need some upfront capital, and comes with risk of loss. So keep that in mind. But this is kind of like what I did through college. I bought people's used video game systems. Often I'll get people to just say, hey, here's a huge pile of this stuff. But then I would also go on like liquidation.com, these websites that sell huge bundles of returned products at Amazon, Best Buy, and other places. You can actually go buy those. Most companies don't restock that in the store. They throw it all into big lots and sell them. And then I would turn around and sell those products on eBay and Amazon and my local flea markets. Now, it's a little bit more difficult now because flea markets are kind of what they used to be. Amazon, eBay, and more, Craigslist too, have kind of really cracked down on those, making them a little harder to get into. So keep that in mind. But if you do have a little bit of cash, you're willing to take a little risk, do your research. Research. There can be a good amount of money in these kind of businesses. I know people have turned them into full-time jobs. Problem being, again though, is more people do it. The more people bid higher on the lots to get like used stuff, to buy video game systems, which limits the amount of profit you can make. One of the reasons I was successful at this is I was very good at always monitoring what was coming up on Craigslist and different places like Facebook to quickly jump on the deals when they became available, to buy the good cheap ones before other people got to it. So again, it's a little bit of time consuming, but there's good money there if you're careful, if you take your time and learn your lessons about it. So a quick recap. Number 1, really, if you're looking for something real quick just to get into it, consider delivering pizzas for Uber Eats, or maybe a local pizza joint. Maybe you do some Instacart shopping, some Ship It, or wherever your local company is for grocery shopping. Number 2, take a look at what skills you have. Can you teach somebody to play a piano, guitar, sing, etc.? There's some good money to be made there for basic courses. Number 3, create a service company. People nowadays with 2 parents working and more, dog walking, pet sitting, house cleaning, and more are really profitable ways. Know your local laws. Maybe, you probably want to consider like an LLC. They're surprisingly cheap to make and give you legal protection. So keep that in mind. But a really good way, I know a lot of people who made money doing things like cleaning homes, pet sitting, dog walking, and more through college and even after to help pay off the bills. Number 4, online services, whether it be a YouTube, a Twitch channel, or one of the other ways to make money online. Just understand that these things often take a long time to build up to profitability and can be a lot of work, a lot more work than people think. When they see YouTube videos, even very basic ones like this, it really adds up over time how much time it can consume versus just delivering pizzas. At first, it'd probably be more profitable to deliver pizzas. So keep that in mind. And number 5, resale. Whether that's flipping baseball cards, video game systems, big lots of returned items from Amazon, Walmart, eBay, etc. Just remember that it takes a lot of work, risk of loss. Anytime you buy something hoping you can resell it, you run the risk of not being able to resell it. Everybody who's done this profession will have stories to you about, hey, I bought this, thought this was going to be great. When it showed up, it wasn't really what I thought it was. Kind of lost money in that deal. But overall, being very careful, doing my research, I was able to make a profit at it. So there are my 5 ways to make money on the side that I think are the most profitable. These are ones that I've done for the most part, or know people who have. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Do you have anything like this you've done in the past that you want to suggest? Have you done any tricks like this? Leave me a comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I'll see you back tomorrow for a regular The Breakdown episode. And again, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us. We really appreciate it.